Hi, everybody. Welcome to Conversation with Calvin, We the Species. Chronologically, and I don't mind saying it, it's I'm looking. It's October 13th. It's 10:30 in the morning, and it's a little bit of a short story, but I'm with Lamar David Mackson, who is the founder of the Queen City Film Festival, and is also part of the Directors Guild of America. That just was a recent title that was given to you. And you are the director of Nonstop Show Group. You're also on the Union County Motion Picture and TV Advisory Board, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I'm so thrilled because you are the founder of the Queen City Film Festival, which is happening this week, October 16th through the 19th, Plainfield, New Jersey. And all this came about literally yesterday.
Yep.
And a dear friend of mine, Yolande Eze, I always
You got it. You got
uh,
it.
when Yolande Eze, she's a dear friend because we used to work together because she was a student at Rutgers not that long ago, a few years ago, and I set up an internship with Yolande working for NJ Discover. They had the contract to broadcast Sky Blue Soccer, professional women's soccer, and I had gotten her the that position. She always amazed me with just how poised and creative and talented she was. And of course she left, graduated Rutgers and then moved on, I guess, to California. And all of a sudden it resurfaces back here in New Jersey. We reconnect literally a couple of days ago, and boom, I'm sitting here with Lamar David Mackson.
Yeah,
And
isn't that great? I mean, so she flies the nest from you and goes out into the world, and Yolande becomes my mentee for many years. I
wow.
think it's almost like 9 years now that I've known her and worked with her. And she's just a wonderful, wonderful individual, so talented, so driven, and just a great person to be around. And we've done so many projects together over the years. And yesterday, out of the blue, like, right, I talk to her all the time. And yesterday, out of the blue, she comes up with a long email and then a follow-up text message telling me about Calvin and We the Species. And I'm like, uh, okay, sure. And so as I started doing my research about you, Calvin, I realized that you and I have a lot of common points, right? You have interviewed a lot of people that I know. And it's really interesting. Queen Stewart, the gang from Garden State Film Festival, all of those people, like I've known them for a number of years, and to see them in your roster of video interviews, I was like, yeah, okay. So this was brought to me by Yolande, one of my dear, dear employees now. She's an employee of mine, but also, the fact that you've talked to other people in my field and in my industry years ago, before you even heard about me, it just made this real easy. And I was like, okay, let me carve out some time to talk to Calvin. It's a perfect time. We're at the beginning of the week for the Queen City Film Festival. So yeah, for sure.
Thrilled. I just marvel at the universe. I said that to you, and the other for me, Lamar, the other really poignant thing is you're from Plainfield, and half my existence, half my cells in my body come from Plainfield because my father was born there and lived
Yeah.
there. He met my mom. So that's very special. Plainfield is all over and inside me because I'm part Plainfield. And there's still links, to Plainfield. And my father had five brothers, and most of them settled in Plainfield. So that's very special to me too. And part of the film festival is going to be at Plainfield High and the Ducret.
Yeah, Ducre School of the Arts. That's where we have our opening night gala and opening event. And so, yeah, I mean, the fact that you're from Plainfield, again, it's just another like the universe is pointing us in the right direction. There's no other way to describe it, right? So that was another like factor in me sitting down with the great Calvin Schwartz because I was like, all right, we got to do this. These two Plainfield guys coming together. to talk shop about the business, but also to talk about their, their roots uh, of Plainfield, from Plainfield. And for those who don't know, Plainfield, New Jersey, right? It's the home of many, many celebrities. You can Wikipedia it. I mean, from the music business to the Justice Department to, I mean, oh, sorry, there's so many people. And it's also the home of Lamar Mackson. So let's start there in a in in a modern sense. So let's go.
Okay, so I'm just looking at the resume. We're going to jump right into the Plainfield Film Festival because you have to come back and we'll branch off into other things. But right
For
now, this
sure.
is top of the list. But your resume and the things you've done: assistant director in Practical Jokers. You've done stuff with Montel Williams, Phil Donahue. Your most recent work on Paramount Plus, How Music Got Free, helped you get into the Directors Guild of America. I mean, the resume is amazing in what you're doing now, also with Nonstop Show Group and what you're putting out there. This is it's all a wow, and we gotta push that aside a little bit. That's where I'd love you to come back.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, I sit in this chair 12 hours a day, so I'm like tied to this chair. So, but anyway, let's talk about what inspired you to create the Queen City Film Festival?
Oh, so that's a pretty easy question. So, um, as you mentioned, through my production company, Nonstop Show Group, I had been making a number of films, short films and features, and we were also doing commercial work for people, for companies, for organizations. But I started making content that mattered to me, right? Content that I had a say so about and had some ownership in. So we started making pilots and short films and featurettes. And we were doing the circuit, the film festival circuit, and we were traveling all over the country, doing quite well. These films were winning awards and playing in front of, adoring crowds. And then we'd come back to Plainfield and people wouldn't really understand. And by the way, we made all of these films in Plainfield, New
Wow.
Jersey. So the fact that we were showing them all over the world and then come back home and then people would be like, now what do you guys make videos? What are you doing again? Like no one knew really what we were doing. And so I kind of got fed up with that and decided, well, you know what? Maybe we should just have a private event. Sort of, we had been to enough film festivals to know what they look like. So maybe we should just do our own like mini event where we rent out a hall and then we'll invite friends and family to come and that'll be it. And we'll do, and then we'll have a Q&A and we'll celebrate our work, right, in front of our friends and family. So because most people can't travel to California or we were doing festivals in Canada and all over the world, and people, really couldn't attend those with us. So why don't we do something right around the corner? So we rented out a old church, right, that had just become like this public space, and it was a 4 day event, a 1 day event, a couple of hours. It was like 4 hours we rented this building for. And I think at the time we had like 8 films to show. So it kind of worked out where we just invited a bunch of friends and family. They came, um, and it was a big hit. The people that helped us to make the films behind the scenes are actors and actresses, and my co-producer Patrick Coker, who is an amazing producer and writer now. Um, we all got together in this room and sat down and answered questions and screened these films. And from there, it became like right after we were done, people were like, you're going to do that again. How can I make, and, and then filmmakers that we knew were like, how can I submit my film? And, I'd love to be a part of that because we took pictures and had video of the event and it looked like, a big event. It looked like a big deal. And so we kind of sat down and formed our organization at that point, um, and created a nonprofit and went full steam ahead the very next year. And I think the first one was in 2018.
Okay, I was going to ask you that.
Yeah, the first one was in 2018 in the summer. I think we did it in June of 2018. And then from there, we expanded. Our first public year was 2019, and we rented a movie theater that was being built. No, 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 I'm sorry. We still did it in the same community space. And then the next year, 2020, a new movie theater had been built right nearby, the Cinemark Watchung XD Theater, which is on the border of Plainfield and Scotch Plains. Um, and so where the old Sears building used to be, if
Oh,
anybody
sure.
from Plainfield knows where that
Oh,
is.
sure. I know
Yep.
what it is.
And so we rented that, and just before we were going to do our event, COVID hit.
Oh,
So the movie theater was closed that year, and we weren't really sure how we were going to proceed. But we decided to go virtual. We were one of the first festivals to go virtual. And we did that. And we held a drive-in theater at Plainfield High School so that people could get together but still be distant in their own cars. And that technology for doing drive-in theaters sort of became more accessible. So, we rented a pop-up screen and a big 40-foot blow-up screen. And then
um,
our provider had the radio transmitters so people could tune in on their cars. And once we made it through COVID and made it through that experience, it was game on. We came back in 2021 to the theater, and ever since then, it has continued to grow exponentially more and more with more filmmakers from around the world. It's not even a local festival anymore. We're receiving films from all over the world, from filmmakers as far as Japan
no.
and Jamaica and England and Africa and Canada and Mexico, all to screen their work in an independent environment with high quality platforming. And yeah, we're off to the races now. It's just an amazing phenomena how this festival has grown over the years.
It's a great feeling, isn't it, to see, the birth, the creative birth of something. I'm a writer, and I wrote a novel. It takes 5 years. It's a long gestation period, and then all of a sudden, I know Norman Mailer once said, for a guy anyway, writing a novel is like giving birth, and I actually understand that. By the way, I'm sitting here listening to you, absorbing, and you're talking about, the beginnings, and it occurred to me that when I was 15, I was staying with my cousins in Plainfield, actually North Plainfield.
Mhm.
My grandmother lived. But anyway, we went to see this new movie that came out, and we had to be there on time or they wouldn't let you in. It was the Strand Theater on Front Street.
Yeah, man.
Yep. And we
Yep.
saw this movie called Psycho.
Yeah, man. So I tell the story of Plainfield's greatness all the time. In fact, my inspiration for becoming a filmmaker came from the last two film houses in Plainfield, which was the Strand Theater and the Liberty Theater. So I tell this story all the time so that people understand the greatness of what Plainfield used to be and how we can return to that glory. When I was a kid in the late 70s and early 80s, Strand Theater was still in existence as well as the Liberty. And the Liberty Theater used to do a sort of double feature every Saturday and Sunday. They would show a very popular karate movie and a horror movie. And on Sundays, particularly after church, my mom, I would used to bug my mom, we gotta hurry up. We gotta hurry up so I can get home. And me and my friend Altarique Myers would walk. We lived on Putnam Avenue at the time, and he lived around the corner on Carlton. Uh, and he and I would walk from Putnam Avenue downtown
Wow.
to the Liberty Theater, which
Wow.
is sort of unheard of now, right? You don't 8 and 9 year old, 10-year-old kids don't take that kind of liberty upon themselves. It's not that kind of world anymore. But we did it back in the day and had a wonderful experience every weekend. I saw every Friday the 13th movie, every like oh man, God, I can't even think of all of the wonderful movies I've seen. All the Bruce Lee movies when they first came out, like Fist of Fury, The Chinese Connection, Enter the Dragon. I saw all of those movies on the big screen, including like the specialty kung fu movies, like the Shaw Brother movies, like Five Deadly Venoms, Enter the Wu-Tang, 36 Chambers. I saw all of those movies in downtown Plainfield, and it was so accessible. I think it was like $5 to get in, and you sit there for like 4.5 hours and watch two movies, and you just had a great time. And that sort of, and that during that time, they had also the Blue Star Cinema in
Sure.
Watchung
Yep. Which one?
there. So when I was a little bit older, I'd go up to the Blue Star Cinema because I think at that time, the Liberty was on its way out by 85 or so. I think it was about to close. The Strand had really completely gone off the rails and was showing X-rated movies, and it kind of went like sideways. But those days were a great inspiration to me and really set the foundation and the groundwork for me becoming who I am today in film.
Wow. Wow, what an insight. And again, I've been to of course, to the Strand, and I've been to the Blue Star Cinema.
Hmm.
Um, that's it's just part of me, and it's funny that experience at the Strand as a 15-year-old seeing that movie was a life-lasting
Yep.
experience. Of course, because the movie was so, avant-garde and
It's funny that you mentioned Psycho as a film that you saw when you were about that age, because I think when I was about 13, I saw Carrie at the Strand Theater. And it was, this is right, it was a double feature, Carrie and Superfly
wow.
at the Strand Theater. And I think that was one of the last like R-rated kind of situations. And after that, by the way, I was like 12 or 13 and I was in the R-rated movie. And I went with my big cousins, the Scott brothers, Miles and Joe Scott. They took me to see that movie. But I think right after that, they kind of shut down and new management started showing like the blue movies, as they call them, the adult cinema movies. So that was the last time that I went there to see a movie. But what an amazing experience. And the fact that we're so far apart in age, but you saw a classic
Yeah,
film in Psycho there. And
yeah,
then years later, I saw
yeah.
Free there, which was one of the great horror movies, psycho thrillers of all time.
Yeah, I actually it was on a month or two ago. I watch AMC all the time. I'm just hopelessly stuck in old movies.
Hmm.
I am who I am. Which is a good segue. What makes this year's Queen City Film Festival stand out from past years? How is it different?
Well, every year the film festival becomes more and more stratospheric. Um, so last year we had Academy Award nominated documentarian Yancey Ford present his extremely powerful documentary on Netflix called Power. And at the same time, we had um, Oscar nominated filmmaker Sam Pollard present his film Max Roach, well, and which was about 100 years of Max Roach.
Yeah, sure.
And I happened to be friends with Max Roach's children. And so they came to that event last year. Um, what makes it different this year is that we still have that same level of quality in terms of and recognizable films and film uh, talent coming to the city of Plainfield. That's what makes it the same. But what makes it different this year is that more and more people have become aware of it, right? Uh, we're still showing Oscar quality work and films, short films, feature films. And uh, these people are still coming here to espouse their love for film and their involvement in film. I think what makes it different this year is that more and more people in the public, more people like yourselves, are coming to our front door to say, "Hey, tell us more about this festival. What is going on? We've heard so much about it. How can we be involved? How can we be down?" And I think the more that we do this, the larger it becomes. And it's really, it's really, it baffles my mind year after year, um, how large people view us and how it really was just a small little event in our backyard. Now it's
Like
become something that
international.
it's so international now.
Yeah.
I can't conceive it. And if I revealed to you the plans that we have in the next 2 years and the guests that we have lined up, I will just say you got to stay tuned
Wow.
because it's becoming out of control, out of control.
An off-topic question. My mind as I'm listening to you, and New Jersey is becoming a major film depot,
Sure.
and more than ever before. Hey, listen, Netflix, $1 billion
Yeah.
is coming to New Jersey to make film.
Yeah.
So that also serves to elevate the Queen City Film
Mhm.
Festival, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And I'm proud to be a part of that elevation of the film industry just in my day to day. As the chairman of the Union County Motion Picture and Television Advisory, I work very closely with New Jersey, the state of New Jersey, the New Jersey EDA, and the New Jersey Film Commission to create the environment that allows these film production companies and houses and to operate in our state. Um, Union County is booming in terms of film production. Just last week in Plainfield, Cameron Diaz was walking the streets filming her new movie. Uh,
Wow.
Jamie Foxx was walking the streets of Elizabeth, meet and greeting with everyone
Wow.
while he's filming his new movie, I Play Rocky.
Wow.
Um, as the chair of the Union County Advisory Motion Picture Advisory Board, what we do is we set the tone with the various municipalities to help them create the structure, right? The ordinances, the codes of conduct, the fee structures, that allow these companies to come in and say, okay, we'd like to rent this space for X amount of days, and we're going to bring in X amount of people. And of course, then the municipality has a structure around that. They have public safety and they have different services that and resources that then are collated around these productions that allow this to happen. So I'm extremely blessed and so honored to be able to be a part of that. And we don't, again, we don't like to talk politics on this show, but it's because of the political environment that has allowed this to happen. The only way that this is happening is through a series of tax um,
Incentives.
incentives and rebates and structures that were designed by and championed by the current
Right.
governor and his administration. And so at the end of this term, it's really dependent on who the next governor is
Hmm.
that this type of industry and this boom that we see happening is allowed to continue. Because I do know that the previous two governors did not support it. And so therefore it didn't happen. And now you see, for 8 years, this has been something that has been allowed to grow and develop. I can't imagine it not continuing
Correct.
in the
Correct.
current steam. But politics is crazy. Right now, politics in America is just upside down and topsy-turvy. So sometimes, folks in leadership, uh, sh- cut off their nose to spite their face, I think is what the term is. And I just hope that that's not the case moving forward.
I agree. Hey, listen, $1 billion is $1 billion,
Right.
and it's going to be done, I don't know, in a year or two. And then somebody told me they're building. Somebody else is spending quite a lot of money putting a studio down in, I think, Camden County. I don't know if you heard that.
Yeah.
I kind of heard that blowing in the wind.
Yeah,
But
there's a number of large projects going on. And you mentioned Netflix at Fort Monmouth.
yeah,
Lionsgate Studios is building a groundbreaking right in Newark, right on the cusp of Newark and Elizabeth. And so, as a Union County guy, that really makes a big difference
sure.
for programs like the Queen City Film Festival, our after school program for youth, which is the Film Future Club, which trains 16 to 24-year-olds in the art of filmmaking and the business and takes them through the process in the different positions. So, this continued economic boom based on the film industry is really, really important.
Okay. Well, I'm so with you on all this, Lamar, as I listen to all this, because I know the power and the beauty and the amazing quality of film. It's changed my life. I'm just such a hopeless romantic when it comes to film. That's who I am. I spent literally the entire COVID experience getting caught up with documentaries. I just kept ordering documentaries. So I watched The Intimate History of the Roosevelts. I watched Vietnam by Ken Burns. I mean, I'm just such a big fan of documentaries because it tells about us. So,
Right.
what kinds of films or themes can we expect from the Queen City Film Festival this year?
Well, 32 films. You have a variety of topics and genres that are coming out of these wonderful films. We have, I think, and I'm just going to open this up real quick on in our schedule. If you go to our website, www.qcffnj, that's qcffnj.com,
Huh?
you'll note that we have I think 8 uh, screening blocks, right? And each one of those screening blocks has a name or a title that sort of gives you background on what that grouping of films is all about. And so, for example, on Saturday morning at 11 a.m., we have a block entitled Atonement Moment. And that's a group of films, one, two, three, four, five films that deal with atonement. And if you allow me just to give you the brief description that's
Yes.
on the website,
Yes.
um, atonement is the courageous act of confronting uh, the truths we often avoid, stepping into the mirror of inner reflection with honesty and humility. It begins with the willingness to ask ourselves the hard questions about our choices, our wounds, and the ways we may have hurt others or ourselves. Through this process of realization, we strip away illusions, the face of the rawness of accountability, which opens the path towards forgiveness and healing. True personal freedom is found not in escaping our past, but in transforming it, reclaiming our power through self awareness and aligning with a deeper sense of integrity and peace.
Wow.
Atonement moment. And
Wow.
those films this time it's personal, The Room, I'm Not Doing Enough, and Baldy all speak to some certain degree of personal atonement, healing, and turning it around, right? And so our blocks and the films that you will find there are that specific and that moving and that deep. We have another block called entitled For Whom the Bells. And now you can imagine
Like
what,
Hemingway. That's
yes, correct. And
yeah.
for whom the bells, dot, dot,
Wow.
dot, you can take it for what you want it to be after that. We have another block called Narrative Incredulous. And so the block title
Wow.
is what you should expect when you see that block title. I'll give you one more. Diasporic Decalogue.
Wow.
The names of the blocks are reflective of the grouping of films
Brilliant.
that are in that block.
Brilliant.
All of that can be found on our website, qcffnj.com.
Wow.
I'm really, really excited to be able to present these 30 some odd films as an offering. And again, some short, some dramatic, some comedic, some history and documentaries thrown in there. Um, and then we have an offering of free events during the course of this festival. Um, we have a wonderful documentary by a Plainfielder, a native Plainfielder, but he's also a world-renowned film director who has directed many, many uh, award-winning films. But a gentleman by the name of Byron Hurt, who has been featured on PBS numerous times over the years. His documentaries have been seen all over the world, and he has chosen to screen his most recent film, Men of Courage, with us. And Men of Courage is a film about uh, violence, domestic violence, and how it is sometimes promoted in the African American community and what men of color can do to correct that to correct that wrong in our youth and heal our community through the acknowledgement of how there are various layers of domestic violence, um, and we need to do something about it. So those are the kinds of films that we're screening this year.
By the way, I don't know if you watch me. Maybe one of the you're laughing. I may be one of the few interviewers on Earth who take notes while
And I
I'm
love it.
notes.
I love it. Like
I'm,
copious notes, as they say.
yeah, so I'm taking copious notes. I love, these film block titles. For Whom the Bell. I mean, it's just brilliant stuff.
Yeah.
It's
And
just
when you see the films in there, and you get to see their descriptions, and it really makes it. We try to curate these films, right? So they're not just randomly submitted and then officially selected. These films go through a curation process. We have a 13-member board that reviews these films. There's an adjudication period where these films are then reviewed for a number of quality control points that are the basic quality control points of audio, cinematography, acting, set design, lighting. But then we get into the length of time and the story construction, the writing, all of those things make a film eligible for our festival. It's not just, oh, submit a film and they'll take it. No, because we deny a lot of films. We do because a lot of people, a lot of filmmakers haven't reached that cusp, and it doesn't mean that you're not good enough or that you're not enough as an artist. It just means that our standard allows for a particular type of work to be screened. And we do that because we want our attendees to have value when they come. We want people to be moved spiritually. We want them to be moved mentally. Our goal is to impact cinema, impact society through cinema. That's our goal. We want to change the world through cinema. And the only way that we can do that is by picking the best independent films and independent works that are available.
and I agree with you. Listen, my whole adult existence is built around film, and I know the importance and the value and how that can change the world.
Mhm.
And so I so believe in that. Everything about film. That's why I jumped for joy when Yolande put this all together, that I can interact with you, and as I discovered you yesterday. So
Mhm.
I just want to go off topic, and ask an off topic question. It's kind of a fun question, and there could be a couple answers, but here goes.
Okay.
Excluding family or friends, somebody living or dead you'd like to spend a day with.
Ooh.
And there's no rules here. If there's a few people, that's fine too, whatever. Interesting question.
Okay, so there are a number, right? I definitely have a number of people. Um, but I would first say Malcolm X.
Love that.
I say Malcolm X. And as I say as I as I say his name, I'm becoming emotional because of the way that he died and his impact on society at the time. He never really got a chance to finish his mission. His thought, right, was cut short. And I would love to spend some time with him. Absolutely. Um, he's definitely very high up on my list. And our our event, the Queen City event opens up. The first event that we're doing is a book discussion and signing with the Pulitzer Prize winning author Tamara Payne, who wrote a book called The Dead Are Arising: The Life of Malcolm X.
Wow.
So she will be speaking about the book and her many, many years of research, along with her father, the great Les Payne, who spent many years, decades, researching Malcolm X and his life. to come up with this book. And unfortunately, he passed away before the book could be finished, and his daughter took up the helm, finished the book, and went on to great accolades and best-selling titles across all the genres for the release of this book. So it is special for me to be able to present that as the very first event that we do this year. And we're entitling that the Icebreaker. And that'll be on Thursday, October 16th at 5:45 p.m. at Sindell's Bookstore in Plainfield, New Jersey, which
Huh.
is a new bookstore that's just
Huh.
opened up
Okay.
in Plainfield.
Hey, good to know.
Uh, I've spent a lot of time with people that I know that I've uh, adored in my lifetime growing up. So I still think that there are people who have moved on and that have gone into ancestorhood that I probably would want to spend time with. Like I would probably want to spend time with my fourth great grandparent who was born into slavery. Um, I would want to know about their experience and talk to them about not just the brutality that they saw as a slave, but also talk to them about their survival techniques and their resiliency, because I think that as a modern human being, I've been disconnected from those techniques. And they're in me DNA wise, right? But I would love to be reconnected with them in living action and flesh, and also have connection, a deeper connection and understanding of where I come from. So definitely my foreparents, because I'm sure their stories, they live inside me, but I just don't know them yet, and I would just love to hear them and speak to them about that.
Great answer. You're giving that answer. It just kind of made me think. Because I try to answer, that myself, and what always comes to the top of my list is my grandfather, and as it turns out, listening to you, as it turns out, what helped me discover all this is a poet, an African American poet, Brenda Wiggins,
Hmm.
and her ancestors came over on slave ships, and she and I became really good friends, and because of her and the universe, she helped me discover my grandfather. It's a long story. Now
Hmm.
we're not for now, but listening to your answer, it kind of made me think about that.
Yeah,
And my grandfather has came into my life because of Brenda. It's crazy stories. Maybe it's a movie. I don't know.
it sounds like it.
Always thinking maybe it's a movie. Maybe it's a movie. Hey, some screenwriter contacted me. I'm meeting with him. Hey, I always dream of that stuff. Whatever. Anyway, moving on because we're running out of time. You're busy, and hey, I could literally sit here until 9 o'clock tonight. I know you can't.
Yeah, my phone is like starting to blow up
All
too.
right.
Like,
So the last two talk about some of the panelists and special events and things that are coming. I know I'm holding what I love to hear Jamal Simmons
yeah.
talk about being VP for Kamala. Uh,
Yeah. So that is a that's a huge, huge one right there.
yeah,
Former communications director for Vice President Kamala Harris,
yeah,
a gentleman by the name of Jamal Simmons, and who you've seen on TV. You've seen him at Meet the Press. You've seen him on CNN and the roundtable discussions, battling it out. Well, he's coming to speak to us on October 19th, um, to talk to us about navigating media. Like right now, the media business is so crazy. And as you know, independent media is becoming more and more of a thoroughfare for fair, balanced conversation, truth, right? Where I guess at one point we thought that we were receiving truth by watching the mainstream, but no, not so much anymore. And now with what again is happening on a political stage with the elimination of Stephen Colbert, the harassment and almost elimination of Jimmy Kimmel, where do we turn for answers in the media? So Jamal Simmons, Mr. Simmons, is a Morehouse grad, Morehouse College, the home of Dr. Martin Luther King. I also went to school there. A lot of revolutionary ideas have come out of the HBCU camps and campuses, and Jamal is going to talk to us specifically about how to navigate media in this new America and what our options are and what we should be doing as the general public to sort of push back in a way that makes sense. Because I'm very, very excited to have Mr. Simmons, and it's part of our professional development conversation. And those events are free. So the event with Jamal Simmons is
Wow.
free to the public, free
Wow.
for students. We want people to have access to this information, and we cannot, in good conscience, charge the public
Mm.
for information that we need to survive these next few years and beyond. We need to be able to share information in a way that is going to benefit our communities and our society. So, yes, that event is free,
Wow.
and you can go to the website and register for a free ticket. I think one person can order as many as 10 tickets. And yeah, that's one of the most special
Wow.
panels, panel discussions that we're going to have. And then we have more that are more specific to the industry. We have a director's workshop with eight-time Emmy Award winning director Bobby Yan. Bobby is an amazing director who has produced, I mean, directed so many things, but he's going to come and basically talk to fledgling directors, screenwriters, and wannabe directors, and also established directors. It's like not just one or the other, it's all about the actual business of directing for television and the things that you need to know to package your idea, to prepare yourself once you've been hired for a director's job. How do you get hired for a director's job for television? And what are the important factors and tricks in the trade and all of these shortcuts that you might need to know to make yourself more accessible, more valuable in this particular situation, and to make yourself irreplaceable as a member of a production team that's leading the pack, right? So how do you get rehired once you've already done one of these things?
Wow.
So Bobby is a great friend of our event, and he has been not only we've given him an award as a director, but he comes back year after year to offer his knowledge. And if you need to look up Bobby, just look up Bobby Yan. He has directed things that have been on Lifetime. He's directed stuff that's been on BET. He's a longtime sports producer. So a lot of the work that you see, you don't even know that Bobby Yan is involved with. But yeah, he's the man, and he's coming back to Plainfield, New Jersey, October 19th, and he'll be there at the Plainfield High School to talk about the business. So that's just a little bit of just some of the panels and the workshops that we're going to be offering this year, but it's all available at qcffnj.com. And those free events are listed under tickets and passes. So I think I forgot to mention that the Malcolm X event is free as well.
Oh, wow.
Um, Again, we're trying to give the community the food that they need to survive these strange times. And there's no way that we can, in good conscience, attach a price to that.
Wow. I'm just, it's a wow what I'm listening to and what I filled up a whole page writing. No, it's a wow. The giving back to the community like that, and
Appreciate it.
in embracing the community, and getting to come to these events. And there's just so much. I mean, directing. Who would even conceive of all? You started to mention some of the things that are involved. Um, I could literally talk to you for 12 hours, honestly.
Well, you can have me back anytime, my friend.
Yeah,
And the invitation to speak to our award-winning, because we've already made our nominations public, and we will be announcing our categorical winners on Sunday, also
love,
at the Plainfield High School, and we will be giving these fine awardees their flowers. But we will make them available to
yeah,
you.
I'd love that.
Speak to
I
them.
absolutely would love that.
Yeah, it would definitely be a great service for them as well.
I would love that. Truly, I won't. I I'll probably be up the night before because my head, getting these opportunities to interact with film people, it just fills me with like you. I was up this morning hours early. I never get up early.
Mm.
Uh, because the thought of being able to interact with you and what you've done to me is just it's very special. It's who I am, you know. Any other parting comments and things you wanted to mention as we wind down?
Well, I think it's important to mention that the growth of this festival again, and I said it earlier, but the festival grew out of necessity. It grew out of an opportunity that we had prepared ourselves for a long time. And when I speak, I don't speak about myself. I speak about the team of people that it takes to put this together. Um, as much as this is something that I've spearheaded as the founder and the executive director, there is a team of people working with me right now. And when I get off the phone, we are on the ground running. We're already picking up equipment. The trucks have been loaded. We're moving gear and equipment into our first location right now. And without them, this not would not be possible. This event is also a family-run business. It's a nonprofit, and my family, my wife, my children, and my mother, we are all involved in making this work. In addition to having a board of professionals who are in this business, um, that continue to invest their time and volunteer their efforts to make the Queen City Film Festival a reality year after year. And then what I would say to everyone who is watching and listening, who has a dream, who has an idea, you just need to do it, right? And you need to dedicate the same sort of commitment and effort that you put into your 9 to 5 life, the 9 to 5 life that you feel so miserable about getting up every day and doing. You have an idea in your heart and mind, then you need to dedicate the same type of energy that you put forth getting up and going to this 9 to 5 into your daily dreams. And then if that means you have to work twice as hard, then you got to do it. Because I'm telling you, as a product of that product, I'm a product of that. So the only reason that I'm here talking to you right now, the only reason that this film festival has lasted so long is because I have dedicated the same amount of energy and focus in making this dream a reality that I did into my daily life. And sometimes it wasn't always roses. It sucked at times. But dude, here
Yeah.
I am. Here I am now. And the same type of energy. that I had when I was just a startup, I still have that same energy every single day that I wake up. And the last thing that I will add, because my computer is also about to die, Yolande texted me or called me at like 9:30 this morning asking me if I was awake. And I laughed. I giggled to myself. I was like, girl, don't you know I've been up for like 5 hours now? I woke up at 4:30. Every day I wake up at like in between 4:30 and 5 o'clock. And I get out of bed and I do my meditations and I do my little bit of exercising. And then I hit the ground running. Before everybody's out of bed, I'm already like into it.
Right.
So I would recommend that people think really hard and heavy about what it is that they want and really focus themselves on doing it, because everything and anything is possible when you put your mind to it.
Perfect. Beautiful. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Uh, I'm going to stop recording now. We're going to do a 30-second wrap,
Sure.
and you've got to run, and I got to put this together and get this to the world
Right
here
on it.
up to Jersey. So, Lamar, thank you so much, so much. Best wishes and all kinds of good things for the Queen City Film Festival. And I'm aboard, and I'd love to, every year now. I want to be there, and it's important to me because film is important, and New Jersey is important, and Plainfield is important. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Don't leave. I'm just going to stop recording.
No problem.
Here we go.